ancient times, a virtuous king had 5 daughters, each exceptionally beautiful in her own right. The hair of the 4 princesses was long and golden, but the hair of the 5th and youngest princess was black. Many wise and learned people were present in the king's court, including an elderly astrologer named Akbar. It was predicted that the 4 princesses with golden hair would lead ordinary lives, while the queen believed that in her lineage, the princesses with golden waves, very special, so their fate will be unique. Hearing these words from Akbar, the queen often became worried. But when her 5th princess with black and curly hair was born, her happiness was worth seeing. As soon as Akbar saw that little fairy, he immediately said, "This child will rule 7 kingdoms." The king was also very pleased with that prophecy. All the princesses were being raised in luxury, but the queen took special care of the youngest princess. Her every wish was fulfilled. The finest clothes were prepared for her, and whatever food she desired was provided immediately. Its sisters found it annoying that the mother was so kind to her, while they were not treated the same way. The engagement of the eldest princess was arranged with the prime minister's son, and the king was also concerned about the marriages of the other daughters. Princes from various kingdoms were sending proposals, but most of them wanted to make Nilofer their bride. This further increased the distress of her sisters. The eldest princess sought help from the vizier's son through her special maid. The vizier's son was also intent on removing Nilofer from the way. Hence, that very evening, he reached the forest with a special friend to meet an aged sorcerer. Seeing the minister's son and his companion in his hut, the magician smiled and said, "How come both of you are here today?" After some flattering words, the minister's son's friend described the minister's son's difficulty. The magician closed his eyes, recited a chant, and then said, "Imprison Nilofer in that fortress on the mountain, whose door always remains closed." The very next night, there was a commotion in the palace that Nilofer, along with her room, had vanished. When the queen heard this news, she was overwhelmed with sorrow, and the king was left in astonishment. The palace guards were mobilized, but no trace of Nilofer was found anywhere. Nilofer's sisters were secretly happy about this sudden incident, but the queen was deeply shocked. The king also became very silent. The elderly astrologer Akbar consoled the king and queen, saying, "This sudden occurrence might actually be a sign of great fortune." But how could the parents be reassured? They wanted to know their daughter's well-being. Through his spiritual insight, Akbar revealed that Nilofer is imprisoned in a fort whose door always remains closed and is ruled by evil forces, making it impossible for a common man to reach. The news of Nilofer's disappearance spread everywhere. A brave prince from the Rajgar kingdom, who was enamored with Nilofer's charms, became restless upon hearing this. He entrusted the matters of his kingdom to the minister and set out in search of Nilofer. He took a fast horse and packed necessary food and supplies. His horse was advancing through the forest and desert when it suddenly stopped at a place. The prince urged it to move forward, but the horse did not budge even a step. The prince looked down and saw that there was an arrow stuck in the horse's leg. The prince pulled out the arrow and bandaged the wound. Since the horse was injured, the prince tied it to a tree and proceeded on foot. While walking through the dense forest, he saw a deserted hut where no one was present, which led the prince to lie down near the hut's door to rest. Suddenly, in the morning, a large peacock came dancing towards him. The peacock came right up to him like a tame bird and stopped. When the prince gently stroked its feathers, something sharp suddenly pricked his finger, and he noticed a golden needle stuck in the peacock's back. As soon as the prince removed the needle, strength.
The peacock suddenly started speaking.
"You have freed me.
I am actually a magical bird.
The prince was shocked and said,
Can you really speak?
Yes, I am the guardian of the magical kingdom of Naristan. But a cruel sorcerer cast a spell on me and took away my voice.
The prince told the peacock about his expedition, upon which the peacock offered to help. The prince mounted the peacock's back, and the peacock soared into the sky. Thus, both embarked on a new journey, but even they did not know where their next step would land. After many days of a long journey, they arrived at a settlement located by the bank of a large river. The residents there warmly welcomed the prince and the Moor. They were served food of various kinds and provided with the best beds for resting. An elderly man from the settlement, who was at the forefront of their hospitality, asked with interest,
It seems you are on an important mission.
Mabaji, you are absolutely right. Do you know of any mountain that has an ancient fort on it?
Yes, I know about that mountain. But are you on a mission to rescue Princess Nilofar?
Yes, we have come for that very purpose.
But son, this journey will not be easy.
If we have accepted the difficulty, then why lose courage on the way now?
Well done, young man. If your courage is so high, I will definitely help you.
The prince became intrigued.
How so?
I have a special magical powder. As soon as you eat it, your body will shrink and you will become as small as an ant. This effect will last only for 15 minutes, after which you will return to your original state.
The old man gave them a small pouch containing powder and, after explaining the way, bid farewell. The prince mounted the back of the peacock, and as they flew, after several days, they saw mountains and a fort, and both were very happy and descended. As soon as they took a few more steps forward, different sounds began to echo in their ears. Suddenly, an old man with a long white beard, thick mustache, and large eyes stood before them. He roared,
If you take another step, not even your bones will remain.
Get out of the way, or the consequences will be bad.
Oh, so you're that brave. Come, have some fresh sherbet first. You look tired.
The prince immediately realized that this was a trick. He pointed with his finger to one side and said,
Just look. What is that?
As soon as the old man turned around, the prince secretly sprinkled a pinch of the powder into his drink. The old man offered them the drink again, but the prince cleverly said, "Be."
First you drink, then we will also drink.
The old man reluctantly took a sip, and within moments his stature began to diminish until he was only as tall as a hair's breadth. In panic, he fainted, and the prince picked him up and closed him in a container. The prince and Moor quickly advanced towards the fort. As they got closer, they spotted two terrifying guards with long teeth and ugly faces. As soon as they saw them, they lunged in anger. The prince swiftly attacked with his sword and knocked one guard to the ground. The other ran away screaming. The prince said,
It will definitely go and warn everyone. We should hurry.
The Moor nodded. Then let's use the powder. The prince and Moor ate the powder and quickly became small. They entered through the small windows in the castle walls. Inside was a large hall with many rooms. The prince quickly glanced around the rooms. The effect of the powder was gradually wearing off, and their size was increasing. The princess, who was locked in a room, was startled upon hearing their footsteps, and seeing the prince, a glimmer of hope shone in her eyes. The prince said,
We are here to rescue you. Hurry up. Time is short.
To exit the fort, they again consumed the powder and rushed outside. The black-skinned army was surrounding the fort. But because of their small size, they weren't noticed and managed to escape. The prince, the princess, and Moor in the sky. He flew back to his country. When he entered Princess Nilofar's country, there were celebrations of joy everywhere for the prince's safety. The king and queen, who were overwhelmed with grief, were extremely happy to see their daughter alive and well. A few days later, the prince and princess were married with great pomp and ceremony. The old king, who had already grown weak, handed over the throne to the prince and became engrossed in prayer. After some time, several nearby kings started oppressing their subjects. The prince conquered all those kingdoms and became the ruler of 7 states. Due to his justice and compassion, the subjects became prosperous. The princess's sisters were also married off. Rebels were punished in such a way that no one dared to rebel again. Thus, the prince and princess began to rule their kingdom with happiness and love, and tales of their justice and fairness were passed down from generation to generation, and the peacock was declared the royal magical bird.